Imagine if you could reset your year like a game. Wipe the slate clean, plan your next move, and start afresh. Sounds impossible. Cause it is. But today I'm going to show you how the year game works, and it's a trick that you'll never forget. You ready to play? Have you ever heard of something called the year game? It's this phenomenon where your year is like a blank slate, ready to be planned, reset, and played through. So today I'm going to show you how to participate in setting up your own year game. To start, we need a card selected. This card is going to represent you, so be careful in the card that you select. Let's just say this one. We have the King of Clubs. That's going to represent you. Every time someone starts a year, generally they're a little lost. They don't really know what they want to get done. So I'm going to shuffle you into the center of the deck so you get lost. But I want you to participate in this year game, so you can go ahead and give the deck a cut anywhere that you'd like. Like I mentioned, every year you start off with a blank slate. And I actually have a card here to represent that, a blank, clean slate. One card here, and it is a blank card. Now, every year you also have obstacles that you run through, you have questions that you need answered, so I'm going to ask you 3 very simple questions that's going to help reset the entire year. So question number 1, how many days in a week? 7, right? We're going to deal off 7 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Question number 2, I'm going to keep it easy. How many months in a year? 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Last and final question, this one's the most difficult, so bear with me. How many weeks in a year? 52, right? I'm not going to go ahead and deal 52 cards, but we'll deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll deal 1, 2, representing 52. Once you answer all these questions, you're going to see the deck is going to rewind and reset so that your year is completely blank. That's pretty cool. But how do you populate your year? How do you bring it all back? Well, what you do is you make a plan. And the second you make a plan, you actually end up finding yourself. And not only do you find yourself, but you see that your entire year starts getting filled with great memories. And that is the year game. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn Magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. The effect I'm sharing with you today is known as the year game, the basic handling by Edmar Hernandez, and everything you saw built on top of the basic handling was me. Trust me, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this one, showing it off to your friends and family. So before we dive right into the tutorial, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get ready for the year game. Now grab your favorite deck, and let's do it. So let's talk about how it's done. Now, before we even begin, I want to say this is probably a low to mid-level intermediate effect just because of the storytelling that's involved, plus a little bit of slight handling here and there. So to begin, of course, you need a deck of playing cards, and you need 1 blank card. Now, don't worry if you don't have a blank card, because you can honestly just take any playing card you have and just use like a rubber eraser and just erase it off. It's going to take time, but it is possible. I've tried it out myself. But if not, you can just probably buy some online. So you need 1 blank card and a deck of playing cards. To begin, you can see I built the whole story throughout my performance, right? So ideally you want to build the story, but I'm going to talk about the trick itself first, and then we'll talk a little bit in depth about the story. So to start, of course, you have a card selected. Card selected, there we have the Queen of Diamonds. It doesn't matter if you see the card, they see the card, of course they should see the card, but it's here. What you want, actually before we even begin this, you want to take your blank card and put it second from the bottom. The spectator should not know a blank card is in the deck in the beginning, so put it second from the bottom, and now you're good to start, right? So you can tell the spectator they can pick out any card they want. I like to make the cards face the spectator, but I'll talk a bit more about that in the story aspect of this tutorial. We have a card selected, it's the Queen of Diamonds. We take this queen, and we want to control it so that you've pretty much given the deck a cut, so that the blank card is 2 cards above this. So you just need to literally just give the deck a cut. A fun way that I see to do this is to almost do an overhand shuffle, but it's not really an overhand shuffle. So to show you what I mean, you probably saw in my tutorial, or not my tutorial, in my performance, I picked up a packet of cards first and threw them forward. That's just like doing a cut. Take cards from the bottom, overhand shuffle style, take them, put them on top like this, and now you're just going to be constantly shuffling, right? What this has pretty much done, which is this has literally done, is it moves this this packet of 2 cards, or this blank card 2 cards above the selected card. So I also like to have, once I shuffle up the cards, I also like to give the spectator the option, do you want to give the deck a cut? You can go ahead and give the deck a cut if you want. Someone is calling me, it's driving me. But the point is, all you've really done is given the deck a cut after the shuffle, and like I mentioned, the spectator can give the deck a cut as well. Now, when you're going through the deck, you tell the spectator, every year starts off with a blank slate. And of course, you can tell this your own story, so I don't want to influence you in any way, but I'm just going to talk through my performance a bit later on. So blank slate, you go to that card, right? Where's the blank card? And obviously it is there's one card in between the blank card and the spectator selected card. So you take these two here, you say blank card or blank slate, whatever you want to say. Take this whole packet and move it to the bottom of the deck. What this has done, it moves the spectator selected card to the second card from the top, right? And now you play the year game, which is what Edmar Hernandez did and taught, is you're asking a couple of questions, 3 questions. How many days in a week? 7. You count off 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What this pretty much does is it moves the spectator selected card 6th from the top. Take this whole packet, put it back. Then you ask how many months in a year? 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 months in a year. What this does, I think it moves it 7th from the top. You bring this back to the top, and how many weeks in a year? They say 52. You say, I'm not going to deal everything, but let's count 5 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. If you want to make this even more interactive, you can literally just have the spectator do the dealing, right? So if you want to make it more fun, you could do it that way. Take the packet of 2 cards, put it on top of the packet of 5, put this on top of the deck, and all this really did was it moves their selected card to the top of the deck. Now, I like to say that every year starts with a clean slate. If you fan the cards in your right hand like this, you'll see it's going to all appear blank, right? Because this blank card is on the bottom of the deck. All these are going to appear blank. One thing you want to make sure of is that you don't spread too far, because then that's going to show the cards are there. And you want to make sure you don't mess up this last bottom spread here, because if this goes anywhere, you can see that another card will be exposed. So you just do a spread like this, show all the cards are blank. That's the blank slate. This right here, pause for a second, makes it a very strong effect. Then you close up and you say, how do you fill up your year, right? And I just like to slide off the bottom card and bring it up to the top. And here you can do a bunch of different kinds of color changes. You could even do a double lift if you want. But I like to do the snap change. And it's a bit difficult to get right all the time, I'm going to be honest, for me, because depending on the moisture on my hands, sometimes the flip doesn't work as good or the snap doesn't work as good. So the way that I do this, thumb on the bottom right hand corner, ring finger on the top left hand corner. I grip like this, bend the card, I guess, towards me, like so, and I pull back with my middle finger and my thumb here, and I release with my thumb. That causes the card to spin, just like this. Causes the card to spin. And as I'm saying this, I like to say, and you find yourself once you make a plan for the year, right? So that itself is a pretty powerful effect. You put the packet of 2 down, and then you shoot this card out towards them, and then you can spread out the cards in your hand. If you can also give the cards a spread in your left hand like this, right? You can fan out the cards in your left hand. Just be sure not to expose the card all the way in the back, so they can see all the faces. Or you can show it like this, how I did my performance, close it all up, and that is the year game. But now, just going through the motions of the card trick is not as much fun for the spectator, so you add in a story. And like you saw, I added in the story of the year game. I said it's this phenomenon where everything is, you start off with a blank slate, things are reset as you work through the year, you plan things out, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to make this interactive, and this is how it works. So first, I show the cards to the spectator like this. And the reason I'm fanning it out towards them is because I'm giving them a choice of who they want to be in the year. So I fan it out towards them. They can pick whoever they want, or whatever card they want, not whoever they want. And they pick the Ace of Diamonds, for example. You just want to make sure as you're spreading through like this, you don't get to the bottom, right? The bottom 2 cards, the second card from the bottom is the blank card. So you just want to make sure they don't go there. But they pick out a card, Ace of Diamonds. I take this, put it on top. And like I was describing before, every single year, you're kind of lost. You don't know where you start. So I lose the card in the deck. And like I mentioned, the way that I do that, overhand shuffle position, take off a group of cards, throw them on top. Then I take cards from the bottom half and continue shuffling like this so it looks like an actual shuffle. Then have the spectator cut the deck because I want them involved throughout the year, right? I want them involved in their own planning. Now, every year starts off with a blank slate. So you can clearly see I go through. And I don't show this to the spectator because then they'll see their selected card is literally just 2 cards down from the blank card. And then once I get here and I close this up, now I can show them blank slate, blank card here, put this on the bottom side of the deck, bottom half of the deck. So with the cards face up, this card's on top, but with the cards face down, that card's on the bottom. What this pretty much did, like I said before, it moves their card second from the top. Now I'm not gonna go through the whole procedure again, but I like to tell the story. You get questions in life, you have obstacles, challenges. I'm just gonna challenge you by asking you 3 questions. It's gonna make things very simple. You go through the, what did we even go through? Days in a week, months in a year, and then weeks in a year, right? Ends up with this card on top of the deck. Now, like I mentioned, you can even do a wind up like I did. I got this from Jeremy Tan, by the way, so if you want to call me out, please do. But I saw this thing that was pretty cool. He pretends to wind up the deck, and I kind of saw that as like a reset option, right? I feel like that's pretty cool, where you're winding up, and as you wind, you riffle. So that's a lot of fun to do. Try it out yourself, by the way. But you do all that, and then you say that to reset everything, and now you fan out the cards in your right hand. So you fan everything out, and you show, wow, everything is blank. You get a clean slate for everything this year. How do you fill that up? How do you add more to your year? Now I slip out the bottom card like this. You can take it out like this if you want, however you want to take it out. But just don't show the bottom card underneath it. That's why I don't flip the whole thing up and take it out. And we have this card here. Like I said, they could do a bunch of different kinds of color changes. You could do a snap change like I did. You can say this card's like this. You can turn it face down and do a double lift to show that. Whatever you really want to do. I just enjoy doing the snap change from time to not here. I enjoy doing the snap change, so you can kind of just get in, do a snap change, say boom, you just found yourself. But not only did you find yourself after you planned out the year, you built out all the memories that you're going to have for the year based off your plans. And that, of course, you want to make sure you don't spread too far. And that is the year game. Of course, feel free to watch my performance again to really maybe take a deeper dive into the verbiage I used. But really, this is all yours. The more fun you make your story, the more interactive you make your story, the better impact you're going to have on your spectators. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out my previous video, which is almost as much fun, right here, that's where you click. And as always, a huge shout out to all my Patreon producers, and thank you, love you, see you soon. What happened? See you soon.